Season 2 of the PatandJT podcast.
Oh man, I'm here at last. The first time, always gonna be the best. Come on!
Exclusively on the Herdat Media Network.
All right.
Another episode of your aunt and uncle that bitch all the time about everything. It's the PatandJT podcast. In here, what's today? I hate what? What's the top of the list today?
I hate dealing with the laptop without a mouse.
Yeah, the pads are rough. The little touchpads are rough, and I don't know if they still make IBM ThinkPads this way, where it's just a little nub in the middle of the keyboard.
I saw somebody with one the other day.
I hate those worse than pads.
I've never used those.
It's very frustrating. Don't.
So it's bad enough, and I'm actually getting acquainted. We're not best friends, but we wave in the hallway with my Apple laptop.
Yeah,
my Mac, right?
And you were an early, even before me, when we made the transition to Herdat, you jumped in and just started going. And it took me a minute to get off of my Windows.
Right? It's like,
yeah.
I miss the stuff that I know. And anyway, I'm figuring it out. And it's the littlest things. I think we've talked about this. The littlest things that they have to do different.
Just like flip a button.
Right? It's like instead of Xing out a window, you go up top right, you have to go top left.
Right. It's like it's like that angsty teenager that you don't like green beans because everybody loves green beans. You don't like green beans. Yeah, 100% agree.
So I'm figuring that stuff out. But when I get on a page and I have to scroll, and it won't let me scroll. And I don't know why, and it's pissing me off because I was trying to find my notes, but I think I figured it out now. So
what I do like about that, I know here we are, Grandma and Grandpa talking about, but what I do like about, but we had neither one of us had worked on Apple laptops before. I've had an iPhone for a long time, but not a laptop, and there are just so many like shortcuts and ways to figure things out that are so much easier. Like if you go and actually read what all the shortcuts are, you're like, oh, this is awesome. This is great. So you can get stuff done once you learn all the shortcuts.
But if you don't know the shortcuts,
you're screwed.
Stuck in the mud.
You're stuck with all the long cuts. And the long cuts suck.
Yes, they do.
Don't forget to go to sweetstock.com if you can log into your Mac and use the PatandJT as the promo code and save $10 on your tickets for Sweetstock. As of today, we're less than 2 weeks out from Sweetstock as of Monday, what's today, the 16th?
Today's the 16th. Hold on.
Today's the 16th. Yeah, it's a week from Saturday. Yes, it's already a week from Saturday that Sweetstock's going to be here. Yeah. That's
crazy. I mean, I knew it was when we first started. Well, this came in, fast forward, right? It was less like, oh my God, that's only 3 months away.
Yeah. And now oh my God, it's only 2 weeks away. It's going to be It's going to be a fun day.
Wow. And the weather, just hold this holding pattern. I will take this all day long, every day. It's beautiful.
And with Maha a couple weeks ago, and then Garth Brooks on Saturday, seeing everybody in this state and just getting out, just live music is back. I just can't wait to be part of Sweetstock and be around everybody. Just watch live music.
Yeah, the Garth Brooks stuff. I tell you what, there were so many cool moments. Just catching up. Thank God for what's her name, Cindy Stroll. She posted a ton of videos. I don't know who Cindy is, but
Thanks,
Cindy and some really good ones. And University of Nebraska put some great ones out. There was one up there when he did the song "Ask Me How I Know." Excuse me. There we go for Pam. I think the woman, she was holding up a sign that said "Ask Me How I Know" because everybody has their favorite songs that they want to hear, and this isn't a song they normally do. And then they did it, and the whole place was singing it. And I guess that was one that kind of blew them away because it's kind of a deep cut.
With Garth, though, like everything's even deep cuts are like you might be considered a deep cut, but everybody knows every Garth Brooks song.
Only because it was number 7 on the album.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter. But anyway, and so they did that, and they were up on the jumbotron. Her and her husband, you could see them up there on it. And it was just like, it was awesome. And then hired that kid, the sound engineer.
So I didn't know about that till this morning. I read Channel 7 did a story about it, and that was awesome.
Yeah, met the kid, and he was a sound engineer. So we hired him. I'm like, oh my God.
Okay.
We brought the kid out on stage. He was like, now get over there, back over there. Get out of the way. Get your sound engineer.
I mean, that's so great.
That was so much fun. And then just every one of the songs they did, of course, the regulars, but the whole place singing. He just quit singing. Like Friends in Low Places, Unanswered Prayers, the dance. And I'm like, oh my God, this is just...
Goosebumps, man.
And it was. And the thing you got to love about him is he respects the girl that brought him because those were like off his first few albums. I think he only had like 8 albums.
Yeah, it's not a ton. And he hasn't he puts out new music, but not very often.
He was gone for like 15 years.
He was Chris Gaines for like 15 years.
That's true too.
He was an alter ego for a while, and that didn't work out so well. And then, he just kind of just went away, retired, raised his kids, and just kind of did whatever.
But he hit those songs that came out. Like, I think 89 was when the first one came out. And that first one had, just blew everybody away. But every one of those albums had so many good hits on it. But it was American Pie. Then they did American Pie, which was wow. Wasn't even there, and I feel like I was.
Talk about FOMO though, because leading up to it, I thought, I saw Garth when he was in Lincoln before, whatever.
I know.
But after seeing and we were in Lincoln on Saturday. So just seeing everybody downtown and everybody coming to Lincoln for that show, it's like, man, I really wish I was there. Then you start seeing the pictures pop up.
Yeah. I can't remember if there was like a conversation about, but when he was doing the dance, the people that were watching it, it was kind of like one of those, you remember the first time you heard it and remember when it first came out. And the most poignant moment or memory I have about that song in particular, because that was like early 90s. And a young girl, she was 16 and she was killed by a drunk driver south of Wahoo. And she was in the 4-H club. She showed horses. And all the 4-H clubs showed up at her funeral, and they played that song at the funeral.
To remember that forever.
I'll never forget, because all the kids showed up they were in their white shirts and blue jeans with their armbands, the horse 4-H kids that she knew. The Suic family is who it was, if you know any of the people over there, but Nikki Suic was who had died. And it was just an awful time, but it was so hard for all, because you look at all these kids, because they knew her since she was, 6, 7 years old or younger, and then also just being in the community. But that song has so many different types of meanings.
Right, it does.
Right?
And when you do see it performed live, when you're lucky enough,
and then outside, and it was like,
just
wow.
the way he does it, because a lot of other artists, he is better. I mean, he's up there with Prince and whatever.
Oh.
He puts so much passion into his music. Even like you said, songs that he's been singing for 30 years. He's probably in his head
30,
sick
35.
of it. He's probably sick of singing. Like, who wouldn't be sick of singing the same songs over and over? But he gets out. He understands why everybody loves him, and he just gives everybody a show. Yeah. And it's so awesome to see that.
It's something.
It's refreshing.
It was cool. So I want to thank Cindy Stroll, whoever you are.
Thanks for
your videos that was the wormhole I fell down into.
Thanks, Cindy.
And so I got to see the whole show.
I do love that. Saved $100.
Yeah.
I thought it was
gas
interesting.
Money and everything.
And I know, like you said, nobody really anymore. I just got ink all over my fingers from this pen that exploded. We'll throw that away. Nobody worries about like track numbers anymore. Like, you don't buy an album like cut 4, cut 5, whatever. It's just all singles anymore. But Hollywood Raw last week had a music producer on, an executive, whatever, Charlie Walk, and he was talking about back when John Mayer first started releasing albums, and he talked. I didn't realize I figured that there was specific placement on the album. Like, the first track is really super intense, or what? Who knows? But he said that all these artists before that, track 10 was a throwaway track. Like, they didn't care. They honestly did not care what song. The artist never did, and the record company never did. It was just kind of a filler track. Nobody cared about it. So it was kind of an interesting story about John Mayer's song Daughters. Daughters, that it was track 10 on that album that he released because he thought it was garbage. He didn't want to play it. He just threw it on there and ended up winning a Grammy. So,
isn't that crazy? You just never know.
You never know.
As much as I know that there is a method to the madness, and that it's a formula, and they know exactly we're going to release this, and exactly this many weeks later we do this, and then we're going to have one of these appearances, and we're going to do. I mean, it's like there's this pattern. Every artist follows it. Everything is exactly the same. They think they have it all figured out,
and you just never know.
And then every once in a while, everybody says, screw your algorithm, because we like this.
Yeah, because I'm going with my gut.
Right?
The Oprah whisper. Go with the Oprah whisper sometimes.
Every once in a while that people don't just follow the formula or go with the flow. I think I heard somebody say something about going with the flow. The only thing that goes with the flow is a dead fish. And I'm like,
wow.
That's kind of deep.
I mean, it's like the surface. You're like, what is that? Oh, wait, yeah, that is pretty deep.
I guess
the flow's a dead fish.
And it's like, I don't want to be a dead fish. Wait a minute.
Wow.
Pay attention to what's going on. Don't just do groupthink, right?
Yeah.
That's basically what it's saying.
And it's pretty deep.
But it is kind of, when you hear him talking about that, I'm sure, like every other music producer, they all know exactly what everybody else is doing, and the timing, and okay, it's like the movies. This movie's coming out here, so we're going to put our movie over here. And everything is just a game. It's a shell game, trying to get the most out of it, and then all of a sudden you have a surprise.
Yeah.
Wait, didn't see that coming.
Yeah, right. Blindsided.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
and they're supposed to be the professionals and have it all figured out, right? Interesting. That's something.
Something quick before we jump into what you got. I'm super pumped today.
Really?
Hollywood Raw is recording with Dorinda Medley, who is a former Real Housewife of New York. She hasn't been on. This was the
They
first
haven't
year.
recorded yet.
No, they're recording this morning.
Don't jinx it.
Oh no, I'm not worried about it happening because they're friends apparently. But so I'm not worried about it happening. But here's what I'm super excited about. Is that okay? So when we start recording, I run everything from here, and they're in LA and New York or whatever.
What's her name again?
So Dorinda Medley.
See, that's funny. I have no idea. How do you spell that?
Dorinda, and then Medley, like a song.
Okay.
So she has a famous catchphrase. Like they all burn hot, like just dumpster fires. But she was the one who would, after a couple cocktails, would go from 0 to 60, just like that. So she has a couple of really super famous lines. And so at the beginning of our little recording session today, we are all in there. We all kind of talk about the interview, whatever. Then I get out, and then they start recording. So I hope she asks me. I hope she just says, "Hey, Pat, how you doing?" If she does, it's going to open the door for me to use one of her lines back at her, and it is a dream come true. Her famous line is, "How am I doing? Not very well, bitch." And I can't wait. I can't wait, because if she asks me, that's exactly what I'm going to say. And I don't think Dax and Adam know that's the line, so they're going to flip out and think that I'm like,
You went off the deep end.
Boot me out.
God, Pat, what are you doing?
So I just hope it lands right.
We share a birthday.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's interesting. December 13th.
I'll be damned. Mm-hmm. I had no clue.
I haven't either. I'm just like looking through her stuff. Interesting.
See, I just introduced you to a birthday friend. You would like her. She would be your favorite housewife.
It says here that Andy Cohen apparently pissed her off. Apparently.
Recently? Because she was just on Watch What Happens Live a couple days ago.
It says, according to a new report on page 6, she was livid. No, he was, after she cracked a joke at his expense.
Oh, what was it? I just watched that show yesterday.
Hold on, I got to pull this story up. This is exciting. Andy Cohen is reportedly livid with Dorinda Medley. This is not something I ever thought I'd be clicking on. I'm just going to tell you right now.
And you're even fighting through with a crappy computer pad too. You should get into it.
Okay, it said that he was mad after she cracked a joke at the expense of a former castmate, Tinsley Mortimer. Oh, okay. Anyway, this came over dinner during an episode of Real Housewives in New York City. Okay, so whatever. Oh my God. Okay, now I see what she said, and I'm thinking, okay, she doesn't care, does she?
No, she doesn't care at all.
She said, well, she pissed him off.
Yeah, she doesn't care at all.
That's funny.
That's what I love about her.
And he also should just say thank you, because he got a headline.
Mm-hmm.
So
on page 6 one.
Mm-hmm. And on page 6. Yep. So can't argue with that. Okay, that's good. Really, all I had, I didn't have a whole bunch, to be honest, except for the fact that my I've been having trouble with the main drain of my house, the sewer. The main drain backing up. Right? This has been an ongoing. I've had the plumbers to my house, and not our favorite all-star plumber, but his best recommendation, right? And so they've been out 5 times. We cannot figure this out, and it's not backing. It's like nothing worse than having the drain back up. There's just nothing. I mean, it's gross. Mm-hmm. It's like. And you clean it up, and then you're like, okay, I'm not fixing shit until we get this figured out.
Right.
I am done.
I wouldn't either.
Because we fixed everything, and then it happened again.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
I'm like, okay.
Especially if they don't know what's causing it, not a chance.
Could not figure it out. I am devastated to report that I think I figured out what it is.
What is it?
And I think what it is, you're going to laugh, but it's a real thing. It's my toilet paper, and it doesn't dissolve. You know when you see commercials and they get it wet and they put 10 quarters on it and it doesn't break?
What do you
That's not good.
Do you use Bounty?
Kirkland.
It's just like,
it's Costco.
Is it the super thick cushiony stuff?
It's their Costco brand. It's just their regular brand. And it's like listed as one of the worst toilet papers for septic systems. And it also causes a lot of problems with city systems as well.
Oh,
just going to throw it out there.
That's big news for Costco.
In case you're using it. Because I love Costco.
Yeah.
And I changed about a year ago.
Yeah.
And here we are. And they said, and I'm like, okay, this is not the search I thought I was going to be doing on Saturday.
No.
That's what I was doing. But trying to figure out what is going on. And so they said best thing to do for anybody, you're supposed to use toilet paper that's good for a septic system. So pretend you're not on city water.
That's what my mom uses because she have a septic tank,
right.
And it's really super thin, and she hates it, but she has to use it.
But it will dissolve. Yeah, that's the thing.
Usually, the sad thing is usually it dissolves before you're done wiping.
But you can use enough so it doesn't. Okay, so it doesn't get on your hands.
Don't get that surprise little hello. How you doing?
You can have enough toilet paper so you're fine because it will dissolve. So you probably do use more.
I've had to clean under my nails a couple times.
That's called digging, dude.
Sorry. Sometimes you just got it.
I'm just saying. There's a nice little happy medium.
Yeah.
Okay, so it doesn't have to be like paper thin you can see through it, but it also shouldn't be strong enough that you can put quarters on wet paper.
Right, like basically a paper towel.
Yeah, basically a paper towel, which some of these toilet papers, it's like, so, because you see what's the one with the bears, and they get their rear ends all clean.
Isn't
that,
that,
and it's strong enough.
Downy?
No, that's
for a man, but made for...
Wow, that's secret. Downy is what you put in the clothes wash.
Downy toilet paper with bears.
I used to use Cottonelle, by the way, and Cottonelle is high on the list of papers that are good. But there is a list of...
we have Quilted Northern. We have Angel Soft.
Angel Soft is good also.
Charmin is the one with the bear.
That's another one that you might run into problems, but it's not as bad as the others. It's not. Okay. It wasn't on the list of bad ones. But, Cottonelle is what I used to use. And I switched. I didn't think there was any difference, really.
Yeah.
On the surface, there's no difference. But apparently in the water,
there's a big difference.
One will dissolve and the other one doesn't.
Well, at least it's not like a big, huge fix. Like you got to get a new, a root or something going through one of your pipes.
Honestly, yes, I was complimented on the system looks amazing.
Okay.
So
your pipes look fantastic,
I had
lady.
nothing to do with it. So
you always love it when a plumber comes to your house and compliments your pipes.
Right?
Yeah, your pipes are tight.
Amazing.
And that's the name of our podcast today. Your pipes are tight.
Anyway.
JT's got tight pipes.
Oh, wow. Anyway.
Actually, they are tight if they're clogging back up.
So I don't know, but that's what was causing. So it wouldn't, yes. That's what they said. I had no idea. I didn't know it was that big of a deal. You know what I mean? You're on the city system. You don't think, it's that big of a deal.
Yeah, you don't. You don't think.
So the experiment begins. So I went through my house. So I have some Kirkland toilet paper if you're interested.
If anybody's interested, donate the Kirkland toilet paper.
I do. I don't know what to do with it now. I've got some. So I guess I donate. I don't know. I feel bad.
I mean, you could probably donate it.
I guess. Son of a bitch.
Yeah, that sucks.
It does. It sucks. Yeah. So I did that this weekend.
That was wow. Yeah. That's about all. I don't know. We still have that family of feral cats in our bathroom.
Yes.
Other than that, they're fine. They're great. We did that. We changed everything out. We took the big kennel out. We kind of made it not as crazy in there for them and kind of got some things out of there, and they're fine. They're
still in the guest bathroom.
Mm-hmm. Still in the guest bathroom. And so now we're the mom, because we're trying to see if we can ever be in the bathroom with the mom not going crazy.
You will be able to.
So we're trying. We're like before the whole bathtub was covered with this kennel, so she had a place to hide. Now we got the kennel out of there, and we put actually went to Home Depot and got the cheapest thing possible. Was the dry erase board stuff, and cut that to pieces so we can slowly every couple days remove a piece, so it kind of lessens the places where she can hide.
When you go in the bathroom, ignore her.
We have no choice.
As I'm saying, don't go in there to do anything with her. I would just go in there for no reason. I would go in there and turn on the water, flush the toilet, just put blanket, or put towels away, open doors, shut doors, and walk out. Not touch any of the cats.
You know what's funny is that's what we found. Beth was Googling this weekend that it said ignoring a potentially feral or whatever cat, letting them make the first move is the best thing to do.
So important that they make the first move. It's just like The Horse Whisperer. You ever watch that movie, The Horse Whisperer? Same thing. Is that because then they'll come to you because you turn your back on them, and they'll be like, "Hey, you're ignoring me."
Just like dating back in the day.
Seriously,
you ignore somebody and they come after you.
Right. That's the key to it, but it's hard to. But sometimes
we'll see.
You just have to. But good deal.
Yeah. So the little kitties are still the cutest things on the freaking planet. I just can't get enough of the little kittens.
Have they met the older cats yet?
No. I don't think they're going to, because we're not going to keep any of them. We're just not. It's just too much. So we don't want them to meet, and they haven't been to the kittens went to the vet, but we found out they didn't. They just fed them. They didn't really give them the check over and anything, so we don't want to meet them until the vet
Right.
So, and if we're not going to keep them, I don't think we're going to.
Oh my God, what are you going to do then? You're just fostering then?
We're going to foster, and I think we have somebody that's
God.
interested, and we're only going to let them go as a pair because they're buddies.
What
so,
about the mama?
Well, we're going to get her fixed,
Yeah.
and then find some place that will adopt her. There's I spoke to Pam from the Humane Society a little bit, and then there's that organization that we're working with that has a list of people that are potentially could take her. So we'll see. We'll keep her until
other foster places. Maybe, right?
Yeah, and we'll keep her as long as we need to.
Yeah.
So we're not worried about that. Yeah, I mean, we don't need to. We can poop downstairs. We don't have to use that bathroom. And I just love when people ask what's up. Like, oh, we just got a family of feral cats in our guest bathroom.
See, now you know my world last 2 years.
I know. I love it. It's
Talking about my feral cats.
It's kind of fun to say.
It kind of is. And when we talk about ignoring them, I always have Dexter is always on my leg. He's right next to me until I reach for him. So I just ignore him constantly. He talks to me constantly now. Never used to.
So
but we're getting close.
In a year, you'll be fine.
I hope so.
Eventually. It's only been a 7-year process.
It's 2 years in October, for God's sake. Having a cat that won't let you touch him. Are you kidding me? So, but anyway, yeah. That's funny. That's you're up to date.
Yeah, that's it. And that's it. You're up to date. Go to sweetstock.com. Use PatandJT as the promo code to save $10 on your tickets for Sweetstock.
PatandJT podcast, a Herfa Media production.